Howdy y'all, we're gonna have a video today about the hustle and grind for being a welder. Let's get to it. Alright, first and foremost, before we get to the main part of the video, I do want to show this off as a little necklace. Could be a keychain, but it's for a necklace. My best friend's mama got it for me. It's super cute. It's just a welding shield. Even has the part that you hook it onto your hard hat, or if you're just wearing it with your welding cap. But it looks absolutely awesome. Even the chain, if y'all can see that, it's not focusing the best, but it is a chain. Looks really cool. It's just super awesome. So shout out to my best friend's mama. I really do appreciate it. It's awesome. I love it. So for today's video, hustle and grind. If y'all are getting into the welding field, whether it be through a welding school, a community college, union, company, and you're going to be with other peers starting out in a welding class format. This applies to a bunch of fields, not just welding, but it's a welding challenge, so we're going to go over that. It can be very daunting because a lot of people have welding machines in their garage. They have welding experience here or there, but it really doesn't matter. And I'm saying that from personal experience. When I started my first welding class, I had no clue what welding was other than it had to do with metal, and you're not supposed to look at the sparks or the arc. You're just not supposed to look at it. And that's the only thing I really knew about welding. I'd never welded before. I've never seen what a welding machine was, or actually known what it was. If I'd seen it, I didn't know what it was. It was just another piece of equipment that I had no experience with. So that being said, I got into my first welding class, and the welding instructor went around the classroom and asked everyone what their welding experience was. And I was sitting in the back of the class, like I normally do, and I'm watching all these different students say, well, I have 5 years welding experience welding for my dad. Well, I have 7 years welding for my uncle. I've been welding for X amount of years through high school on cars, whatnot. And it just kept going and came around to me, and I was the only one, if not just one of a couple that didn't have an experience. I believe I was the only one, though, that had no experience. I was the only one there. And it was intimidating because here's all these other people that say they have all this experience, they know how to weld, and now they're just going to do a little bit better and become certified and licensed welders. I wasn't sure if the class was going to really pick up pace and speed and jump ahead because all these people had experience and not me. I was questioning whether I should stay in the class. I remember all that. And for all y'all that are in that situation, I know what that feels like. I've been there. But with the hustle and grind, it really pays off. You just do your homework, do your practicing, it will pay off. And lo and behold, most of the people there were just blowing hot air. If someone has, just say, a lot of years of experience welding from, I don't know, a garage, not even a mechanic shop, but just their garage or in their backyard, odds are there's going to be a lot of bad habits. So what, they can run a MIG bead. Whoop-de-doo, that's not structural stick or flux core. It may be similar to flux core, but it's not flux core. And it's not anything structurally tested either. So I want to throw that out there. If y'all are going into a class or a company or a union of any sort, and you're hearing that all these people have experience and it seems intimidating, daunting, I get that. I've been there. But just hustle and grind. Do all your homework. Practice. Make sure you're better than anything they say they can be. And I remember all the people that saying they knew how to weld, they'd done all these things, fantastic, amazing things, blah, blah, blah. Me being a newbie at it, I didn't know what to think about it. I just figured I was going to be at the bottom end of the class. Even if it wasn't graded on a curve, I was just going to be on the bottom. But as I got through that class and the next class, there was probably 4 or 5 beginning welding classes at this particular school that I went to. And each class had 22 to 24 people in it. And so that's a lot of people. If you have 4 or 5, maybe even 6 classes, I don't remember. It was always packed. The place was always packed with welding classes. It was so busy. And by the time I got to the final advanced class, there was 1 or 2 of us. I think there was two of us in one class, and the other one I was by myself. There were two final advanced classes, and there was basically three of us total that made it all the way through, from either people dropping out or failing. And all the people that were having the biggest stories at the beginning actually were the ones that were failing and dropping out first. And I found that quite interesting because they had all this experience, they were so amazing, but they couldn't weld a simple bead. So just because someone says they have years of welding experience doesn't mean diddle unless they can prove it with either welding classes with good grades or with a license, a certification, or something along those lines. But just because they're going into a welding class saying they have all these years of experience, if they're truly that good, they wouldn't even be there. So just keep that in mind. If y'all are trying to do the hustle and grind and someone's coming in making it sound like they have this huge advantage over you, even if they do have that, so what? Mind your own business, hustle and grind, and pass them up. It's a competition. It is a race. I know everyone's going to say, well, we're all in the class together. It don't matter. Treat it as a competition. Be the best person in that class. That's how I approach classes, and beginning classes to advanced classes. It didn't matter who I was up against, whether it was someone I liked or didn't like in the class. I was always going to be trying to be better than them. Was I always that? No, there were some classes where there were definitely people way better than me, but that didn't stop me from wanting to try and be better than them. You got to hustle and grind. It's always a competition, because if you're in a job application setting and just say you're going for a job and there's one spot and it's you, that other person in class that's better than you, who's going to get it? It's going to be the better person. But if you keep pushing yourself, practice more, get better welds, get more experience in the field, and then you're better than them, then ta-da, it's you getting the job. It is a rat race. It is competition. You have to hustle and grind. And that's why I'm very proud of my best friend. She hustles and grinds so much and puts in the effort. She proves that she's going for more. You got to be hungry. You can't just be satisfied with a little bit. You got to not look down on others, but you got to want more, strive for more. Don't just be okay with, well, I did the first welding class because that's just down here. You got to go for license, certification, be better than all the other certified welders. And if someone has more certifications than you and you want to do better than that, learn that too. Get those certifications, be even better than they are. It's always trying to be better. And I've had some comments lately that saying, well, you're just trying to sound like the guy that makes excuses that he's better than everyone else. No, there are plenty of people that are a lot better than me. I can't do pipe. I didn't care for my pipe welding instructor at all. It sucked. And so I never got into pipe. I just couldn't stand the class because of the person. So anyone that can do pipe, they have that up on me. If someone can do aerospace, they have that up on me. I can TIG weld. I can do structural aluminum, but I can't do aerospace, anything. I'm not good in that area. Structural welding, structural stick, structural flux core, going through rat holes, seismic, I can do those. I can do those pretty darn good. But to say I'm the best, I haven't seen everyone, but I know I'm not the best. I know there's people that have had 40 years experience, iron workers that I know, that I've known for years, they're way better than me, but it doesn't mean I am doing low-key, barely passing welds. They're good welds, but there's someone better, which makes me want to be better than that. For me, it's always a competition. It's always trying to get a level up on someone else. That's how I've grown, whether it be in sports, hobbies, just workplace environments. I can see someone, they have 5 years experience, but within 1 year, I want to be a better worker than they are on all fronts, not just this little thing or that little thing. I want to be above them. So if the company has to have a cutback, I'm better than them. If I have my own rig, I want to be better than the next guy in line that has a rig. Not putting down anyone, but you want to get that job. You want to make that money. It is a rat race. You can't just be all nicey nice and everyone just sit down, we're all going to weld together. That's not how it works. You can only have so many welders on the job site, and if you're the best, most likely you're going to get hired, unless you have a cheapskate that just wants the cheapest welder. Different story. But you got to hustle and grind. And if there's people in your class, in your company, that are boasting they have all this stuff, could be a bunch of hot air and you're going to pass them up anyways. But even if they do have all that experience, hustle and grind, pass them up anyways. Pass up their best stories. They can say, I have this certification, I have that certification, get all those anyways. Pass up their best story. I met someone a while ago that I went to welding school with many, many years ago. It's scary how many years it's been, but I remember them from welding school, and I met them a while ago, just in passing, kind of ran into them while being out and about, and they're saying they have all these certifications and more than what I have. They have all their pipe, they have all their aerospace, their structural was the smallest thing they had. And I know the database to look up if they really have anything, even if they have structural, which is more of the basic stuff. And I looked up just to see if they had structural stick. No. I looked up whether they had structural flux core. No. Do they have anything through the rat hole? Obviously not. You can't have that if you don't have your structurals. And I even looked up their name, not in the database. And so they're just blowing hot air. Someone can give you all these stories, but if you're better than them, it really don't matter. If you have all your licenses, certifications, you did the hustle and grind, you won. There's going to be people from your welding classes that are going to be years later, they're doing all this wonderful welding, pipe, structural, aerospace. Look up if they actually have it. Look up on the database. It will have their name, what they have certification-wise, and it's going to have their picture. So if you know what they look like, you know their name, you can look it up. It's public information. It's not something you have to have some secret password for. Just know where to look, and you'll see that. Hustle and grind. You got to keep going. Even if you go into a welding school, a union, a job, and everyone does have all that experience, hustle and grind. Don't let that deter you. It is daunting. It is intimidating. Don't let it slow you down. I remember that initial feeling, but you can tell these people are coming up with some of the stuff, just the way they talk, the way they structure themselves. It's hot air. But one up them with what you can actually do. Get all those certifications, get that experience, hustle and grind. It's what you got to do. Don't just sit back and relax, whether it's being at work, being at school, doing stuff at home. A lot of the students I had, I was failing them because they weren't hustling and grinding, not because I didn't see it, because it reflected in their schoolwork. They would say, oh, I'm going to do all this amazing stuff, and they come in bragging about playing video games all night, and they didn't have their homework. You didn't hustle and grind. You didn't do your homework. You got a 0 on your homework. You didn't study for your test. You got a 0 on your test, or you got 5 out of 50. You failed. And there's nothing I can do. I can't fix that. You got to hustle and grind and study. Or at work, I have apprentices, they're stoned or they're drunk coming in. You're not hustling and grinding at home. You're stoned, you're drunk, you're playing video games. You got to get to bed early so you're awake and with it for the next day. Hustle and grind. It's not just at work. It's not just at school. It's all the time. That's what's going to get you ahead. Are you doing your studying? Are you getting that extra experience? Instead of just wasting time on video games, are you getting some extra practice with welding? Are you getting another job? What are you doing to hustle and grind? Are you just sitting home being lazy? You can get up and do something, even if it's just doing your load of laundry earlier, so the next day you have less to do after work, after school. You can study more. You can put in another hour at work if you can, make more money, hustle and grind. So again, to my best friend, I'm very proud of you. You're doing all the hustling and grinding. That's what you got to do. That's what all of us have to do. It's not just only this person can do it or only that person can do it. Everyone can do it. It takes a little while to get in the rhythm of it, but once you get in the rhythm of it, it's just a rhythm. It's not hard after a while. You get used to it. It's the hustle and grind. It's go, 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 constant. You hustle and grind, it will pay off. It may not be the next day. Today you have this new job. Today you have all these A's. Or today your entire house is fixed up because you hustle and grind for one day. It's repetition, day after day after day. You got to keep going. Just keep going. So hustle and grind, y'all. It will pay off. We'll be going over more of this content, more videos. Just keep it going. Hustle and grind. Y'all can do it. I remember those classes where it seems daunting to where even if you hustle and grind it, it just wouldn't pay off. But do it. It will pay off. It does matter what you do. School, home, work. It will pay off. It will blossom down the road. It will prove to more, not just being in the same rut, not being able to do this, not being able to do that, not being able to accomplish this, not having this job, not having this certification, not having that license. It will pay off. Just hustle and grind. it can be done. So again, to my best friend, I'm very proud of you. Doing great. Just all of y'all, hustle and grind. It's what you gotta do. See y'all in the next video. Hustle and grind.